folks, welcome to another video, and this is of course I'm out here Super Bowl halftime, and because one, I don't feel like watching La Raza halftime show. I don't listen to that type of music, so not going to bother having it forced on me during halftime, so I'm going to be out here smoking Punch Cigar. This is a Punch, let's see here, this Bareknuckle. Punch Bareknuckle. It is a Corona sized cigar. I would say it's probably even a petite Corona sized cigar. It is. It's a foot wrapper. It's just a small, basic looking wrapper. And of course, it is tied halftime, 10-10. The Punch. So before I forget, I guess happy independence from the EU. They're calling it B-Day, or Happy B-Day to the UK. I didn't realize that the EU was around for almost 50 years, or at least the UK was in the EU for 47 years. Nice smooth draw. It's not a Maduro, but it is a dark, oily looking wrapper. Nose itchy. Doing it. And of course beginning to unravel on at the head there. Let me touch this up. Yeah, so of course Melissa May couldn't deliver a Brit exit. So a Brexit. So of course they got Boris Johnson in there, and you know, within 2 months of him being in office, they're out of the EU. And of course the leader of the Brexit group is Nigel Farage, and I like the guy. You know, if you don't know who he is, check out Nigel Farage. The guy's a he's a very good speaker, but I mean he's a very good orator. Of course, being British, you know, British do have a better command of the English language than us Americans. Yes, I got my Monster Orange drink. I wish they would make smaller cans, like maybe kind of like a Red Bull. Maybe make a can that's the size of Red Bull, because these cans are too big. I drink probably about half of this and then I throw it away. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes for England. Coronavirus update. Of course, my relatives over in China, they're still pretty much in lockdown. You know, they do have cars. If you drive, you know, the government's telling you to drive sparingly, and they're telling me that the situation there is pretty dire. So whatever the Communist Chinese government is telling the West, it's a lot worse for the Chinese folks who are there, because they're telling me, hey man, it's a lot more dire. And they're in southern China, and they're right across from Hong Kong. Now, will this now of course, this is, like, as I said, this is going to cost the Chinese hundreds of billions, if not, you know, a few $1 trillion. You know, and I've said before, I'm not a fan of the Chinese Communist government. I do like the people. A lot of people there don't like, you know, the Communist Party, and if you think, hey man, it's a communist government, there should be free health care there. No, there isn't. If you go to the doctor, you gotta pay out of your pocket. It's only free if you join the CCP. And that's basically meaning you go to their headquarters and you sign in blood. Yes, you sign in blood. There's a form. You sign it, and then you literally prick your thumb or your index finger, and you patch it on next to your signature. Yes, and the Chinese, the as for the blood signing, Asians tend to do that. I know the Chinese, Japanese would do it, where you sign and then you, you know, it's not a, it's not a, it's not a red, ink that they bring out and you stick your finger on it. It's your blood with your fingerprint that you stamp onto the paper. Yes, I'll get to talking about the Super Bowl here in a little bit. As for the Chinese people, the Chinese culture, I love the I love the Chinese people, their culture, of course. Um, and of course we got Westerners, bigots. Again, like I said, they're not racist; they're just bigots. People coming out talking about the Chinese eating all these weird food. Asians in general eating all these weird food. Eating bats and dogs, cats, and insects and things like that. We have our weird food too. If Asians were to look at us, all of this fake meat they're trying to push on society right now. Well, no, the soy, uh, meat flavored soy. You're trying to pass it off as meat or a meat alternative. Yeah, what's funny is that I guess Burger King is being sued by a soy boy, and his complaint is that the soy what do they call it, the Impossible Burger, the patties are being fried on the same fryer as the meat patties. So he's suing Burger King for, like, hey, this isn't a 100% vegan patty because it's being fried on the same grill or the same fryer as beef patties, and I would agree with the soy boy. And of course, Burger King, they got trust me, they got some deep pockets for lawyers. So Burger King, they've already said it in their advertisement. They said that there may be some meat crossover in their Impossible Burger. So yeah, the soy boy's not going to win anything. But again, Burger King gets no sympathy from me, because that's the that's the group of people that you're targeting with your Impossible Burger, Burger King. So having that group of people that you're targeting lash out at you and sue you, well, you get no sympathy from me. I should have just stuck to regular burger, which in my opinion is made from fake meat already. It's probably beef flavored. Heck, the regular burger is probably beef flavored soy patties. So or pork and chicken, that's beef flavored. Yes, it kind of like the imitation crab meat. That is pork and chicken flavored with crab. Yeah, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's these freaking moth. And you've probably eaten them. You probably bought it. It's those long white and red stick, and of course the red is food coloring. And they're listed as a crab meat, or they'll say imitation crab meat, and it is basically pork and or chicken with crab flavoring. And I like it. I like it enough. I put it in. But the only thing I use it for is in my mama noodle. That's about it. Or I'll boil it by itself. Just kind of eat it as like a snack. But I understand what it is. It's fake crab meat that's made with pork, flavored crab meat. Yeah, so all of the the ash on this is very dark ash. It's and Punch, and again, Punch is one of those cigars that's they're not the high end, they're definitely not the cheap stuff, and I guess it's one of the cigars that a lot of us actually get into or purchase. Punch was one of the first cigars that I actually started smoking when I was started smoking cigars. And this one has a nice smooth draw. I bought a 10-pack of these, and down to the last 3, so now I'm down to 2, and I would definitely purchase this again, probably in this size, because they have a bigger size, but I went with the smaller one. So yeah, the coronavirus, and of course, people are saying, hey, the communist government are lying to us about the numbers, and I would agree with those people. Kind of like when Chernobyl, kind of like when the Chernobyl nuclear reactor meltdown. And our government would do the same. They'll play it down and tell us like, well, we can't play it down now. There's a big old mushroom cloud hanging over Chernobyl. But they were playing it down, and playing down the numbers, playing down the severity, until there was a complete meltdown and there was a mushroom cloud, over. Well, it wasn't a literal mushroom cloud, but a mushroom cloud of radiation hanging over Chernobyl. Kind of like we had our 3 Mile Island semi-meltdown, and the U.S. government played it down too. So, so I tell people, hey, look, man, it ain't just the communism. Freaking Western governments do the same thing, and of course, governments do that to kind of downplay it a little bit, so that there's not a panic, cause people to panic. And I don't know who it is that's buying up all of these. Because if you go to Walmart, they have their it's not in the flu section. You have to go to the what do you call that, the section where they sell what do you call that, allergy. Yeah, you have to go to the section where they have like the allergy medicines and things like that, and that's where they have their mask, and they list it as flu respirators. And like I said, I've been to at least the Walmarts close to where I'm at, and they're all gone. Went to Walgreens, and close to my house, they're gone there too. Went to Daiso, went to 2, and it's gone at both of them. So I'm not going to bother trying. And I have a feeling it's Asian folks that's buying them up. It's not white folks that's buying them up. Yeah, while we're on the subject of mask, because here in the West, people under this impression that hey, don't bother wearing masks. Look at those dumb Asians wearing masks. It absolutely does you no good. Well, back pre-1950s, people believed that seatbelts didn't save lives, and this included, professionals, doctors, engineers. There's just this general consensus that seatbelts didn't save life. And it wasn't until the 50s and even into the 60s that the NTSB were doing crash tests, and that's when they actually had crash test dummies. And of course, in the 50s is when they started making it mandatory that all car manufacturers have seatbelts or put seatbelts in their car. And it wasn't until the 80s, some 30 years later, that seatbelt laws became mandatory. And I remember because of course I wasn't driving yet. I didn't start driving until the 90s. And I remember the adults talking about, man, why do I need a seatbelt? I've been driving for 10 years, 15, 20 years. I haven't been in any accident. Why do I need to wear a seatbelt? This seatbelt law is draconian. Why are they passing it? And of course, flash forward to 2020. Now, not only do we have seatbelts, we got 20 airbags in our cars now. Yeah, and I remember when they passed that seatbelt law, a few of the Japanese car makers, I know Toyota and Nissan, They don't have many more. I think they're more of a novelty than anything. But they have the automatic. Uh, they had the automatic seat belts. So when you got in your car, you close the door. There's a, I guess, a railing that the seat belt ran back and forth on, and it would automatically, close in on you. And the seat belt, was, but you still had to, put the one across your waist. The seat belt only was across your chest, and and of course now that people are used to putting on seat belts, I don't think American car makers ever made any cars that had the automatic seat belts, which I think is dumb. This is a good cigar. It's not very strong. Like I said, it is a kind of a dark, oily wrapper. So the heck is that? Sounds like someone's dragging something across the road. And of course, over in Asia, people wear, when people come down with a flu or a cold, they'll wear the face mask. And my opinion is, if you do have a cold or a flu, especially if you're at home, that's the reason why I bought the package a few years ago. Is that if one of your family members gets sick and you have to be around them, have them wear the mask or you wear a mask, it's still better than nothing. It's kind of like in a car crash. A seatbelt is not 100% going to save you, but having a seatbelt on is still better than having no seatbelt. And I feel the same way about the mask. Having the mask on around the sick person, or a sick person have the mask on around you, is still better than no mask, because the way cold and flu spread is that you have to be in the vicinity of someone who's coughing and sneezing, and normally the person would actually have to be like facing you, like if the person's facing away from you and they cough and sneeze, like say in the opposite direction, so if someone's sitting behind me and they're coughing and sneezing the other way, more than likely you wouldn't get it. If you're sitting at a table with someone and they're coughing and sneezing, or you're sitting in a living room or an office room where the chairs are lined next to each other and the person's coughing and sneezing, then yeah, and in that case you would probably get it. So if you're out in public, walking in the street, and of course keep your hand washed. I went and bought about 4 bars, and they're cheap, dial soap. Went and bought a package of 18, or was it 18 or 20, is like $3.88. Depending on the store you go to, it'll cost you, it basically costs you less than $5 for 20 bars of dial soap. And no, people aren't making a run on dial soap, because when I looked at the aisle, there was still plenty of dial soap. I just grabbed the 2 packs. So I got 4 bars, and those 4 bars should last me all the way through. I normally buy some at the beginning of flu season. And yes, dial soap is recommended by doctors, especially if you're going to have a procedure done, especially if it's don't forget what's called I forgot the term for it, but basically, especially if it's a procedure where you get it done and then you leave the hospital that same day. The doctor will tell you, hey, before you come in for your procedure, make sure that the morning when you shower with some dial soap, and make sure you scrub your stuff down from head to toe, and then come in for the procedure. And yeah, if any of you have ever had a procedure, well, of course, if you go to the hospital and you have to have the procedure while you're at the hospital, they'll scrub you down there. But if you're going in for a light procedure, then yeah, the doctor will tell you to bathe in some dial soap. Yes, and dial soap doesn't have, unlike Perel hand sanitizer, that is of course a gel-based alcohol hand sanitizer, dial soap actually has a different chemical that they use in their soap that literally, what that chemical does is that it literally strips the the walls of viruses and bacteria. And now, of course, alcohol kills everything. Alcohol will literally, melt the the bugs. It will literally melt bacteria. It will literally melt the flu virus. But the chemical that is in Dow, what it does is that it actually is a cell stripper. It will go in and just literally eat the cell wall, and all the guts on the inside of the virus or the bacteria will spill out. But even if you don't have a antibacterial soap, a regular hand soap like that you would get at the store, or the more expensive super perfumey ones at Bath and Body Works, wash your hand with those. Even if it's still better than not washing your hand, because when you wash your hand, you're washing the dirt, grime, and the bugs from your hand into the sink, and going into the sewage. Oh, there goes. Hit me in the knee, but that's okay. So not bad. Let me touch it up now that the ash, because the ash basically, the reason I smoke until it falls down is that the ash actually works as the insulation for the burn point. So I should make it in. I should make it back in for the game by the middle of third quarter. Yeah, because Super Bowl halftime is about 30 minutes. And now as for the game, of course, I'm rooting for KC. And both teams seem pretty evenly matched at this point. In my opinion, San Francisco does have the more, I don't think of the word. Basically, their offense and their defense, to me, kind of is the more well-rounded team. That's what I'm trying to think of. The more the rounded team. They have a strong offense with a strong defense. To where KC's got a strong offense, but their defense is suspect. But of course, in the first half, KC did get an interception. So now, to me, KC is suspect to the run. Their defense is stronger for the against the pass. So as long as the game is close, I don't see San Francisco doing a whole lot of passing. They're going to keep pounding the ball, and come fourth quarter, if they're tied or the game is close, which is going to be, I think it's going to be something like 24-21 or something like that, the final, because the halftime was 10-10. Of course, by the time I upload this, you guys would already know the score. Well, so I'll end it here. Now, if you watch the game, enjoy the game. Again, England, happy B-Day, happy Brexit Day. Hopefully they get a new trade deal with the U.S. And yes, the wall is coming up. According to Donald Trump, we should have about 480 miles built by the end of 2020. And then by the end of 2021 or 2022, the wall will be complete. So yeah, I mean, Donald Trump is he is delivering on a lot of his promise. The wall, Mexico's going to pay for it, and on top of that, not only is Mexico going to pay for it, but they're also going to help us with the illegals. Because Mexico's been saying, if you speak to Mexicans, they're saying, hey, it ain't us. It ain't the Mexicans who are coming over illegally. It's the Honduras, the Guatemalans, even down further, the Panamanian, and of course people from South America. So they're like, hey, it ain't us. Well, then if it ain't you, then yes, you need to do your part. Keep those people from getting into your country, going through your socialist shithole, and then coming to the U.S. The Chinese trade deal, and of course you got this coronavirus, and we'll see how it goes in California. Like I said, that they're sending all the sick people to California, to that Air Force base, so we'll see how that goes. And I can't think of anything else Trump, yeah, he's like I say, he's delivered on a lot of his promises. So all the haters, come, and of course he, as of yesterday, you know, he had, Trump has been acquitted by the Senate, as we all know. Big surprise. No big surprise, he has been acquitted. They're like, look, man, look, Democrats, you guys already called 17 witnesses. We don't want to call any witnesses because it's no use. Let's just acquit the president and get out of our lives. Yeah, because the Democrats called like 17 witnesses, and they all amounted to nothing. So when it's the Republicans' turn, they're like, nah, man, we got no witness to call. Let's just get this done with. Let's continue on with our life. Let's take care of this coronavirus. Let's get a deal in with the UK for trade deals. Yeah, this isn't a bad cigar. It's a good cigar, a good little cigar. Yeah, I thought about grabbing a Churchill, to celebrate B-Day for the UK, but I was like, you know what, man, I don't feel like I don't feel like smoking a Churchill. It's gonna be a little too much. Yeah, the reason I'm here today is because it is. Let's see, what is the temperature right now? Let's see, I'm getting my tablet. Now, WeatherBug showed they got up to like 75. The thermometer in my car showed it got up to like 80. And right now it's showing 66, 65, or depending where you're at. So it's a very, it was a very comfortable day today. A nice warm day. A nice break from the 40, 50 degrees we've been having for the last few weeks. And of course, the weatherman is saying, hey, next week we're expecting sleet and snow. So, and that's normally how it happens. Is you get like one really warm day, like today. It's like a precursor, I guess, and after that you get like a super cold cold front comes in and just dumps snow, sleet, or just dumps really cold weather on you. Yes, we had a lot of rain last week. Actually, we've had a lot of rain this year, last year, and the year before. Had lots of rain here in Texas. So yes, we had our drought back in the 90s, which of course the climate alarmists was talking about. Oh man, the drought that's in the Midwest is going to be a forever drought. No, the Midwest right now is getting tons of rain from Texas all the way up to Ohio, and the neighbors coming outside. Okay, well that's it, and I guess until the next warm day, which probably won't be anytime soon, because we're expecting a super cold front to be rolling in after this nice 70, 75 degree day, and every warm day I enjoy it. Go outside, enjoy my stick, and and I'll keep you guys in touch. Like I said, I'm in touch with my Chinese relatives every day, and again, from what they're telling me, it's a lot worse over there than what the Chinese government is telling the West or telling people in China. Yes, their hospitals are overwhelmed. At least in Wuhan, the hospitals are overwhelmed. Doctors and nurses are falling over from exhaustion. People are being turned away because there's no bed. The hallways are literally lined with sick people. There's no beds. There's no doctors and nurse to look after you if you're sick. If you're young, see, people who are about 15 to 50 are the people that I would consider in the green zone. These are the folks, if you do get the coronavirus, because if you look at all the people that count that news article, it says 20 patients recover from the coronavirus, and they're being released to go home. And if you look at them, they're all within that 15 to 50-year-old range. You didn't see any 70-year-old, 80-year-old grandpa or grandma. You didn't see anybody carrying an infant or a toddler, in that 20 people. So far, all the people who survived have been people that's in the green zone. Now, of course, the yellow zone would be I would call them the elderly, people who are over 50 to 70, and the young, that would be kids who are within the elementary school to middle school age, would be in the yellow zone. The red zones would be like the very elderly, those who are 70 plus, and those who are very young, like toddlers, kids who are 4 or 5 year olds and younger. Those who get it are the one who are getting pneumonia and dying. And of course, I got relatives who are vacationing in Thailand, and of course, because of modern day technology, we can actually keep in touch with each other no matter where in the world you go. And I'm like, hey man, and of course they're aware of the coronavirus, they're aware of the infections in Thailand, and I'm in touch with them too, and I'm like, hey man, stay, I'm like, hey man, stay. I know they won't. I'm like, stay in the resort area, don't go out into the general populace. But of course, you speak the language, so you're gonna go out into the populace. Now, if they were, John and Jane Smith, then they would probably stay in the resort area. But these guys, they'll go out into the populace, and and of course, it's like, hey, they're like, hey man, don't worry, we'll keep our hand wash. Wash your hand before and after you eat, before and after you go to the restroom. When you come back from going outside, when you come into your hotel room, wash your hands. Same thing at home when you come back from school, from work, or from going out shopping. When you come in, you put your grocery up, or you put your briefcase up, or your book bag up. First thing you should do is go wash your hand. And I do that as a normal practice anyway. When I come in from work, first thing I do after I put up the briefcase and take out my shoe and stuff is to go wash my hand. And that's a good practice that anyone should do. And I haven't really caught the flu or the cold, I would say, in like the last 5 years. And I've not gotten the flu vaccine. And knock on wood, I've not come down with any cold or flu in the last 5 years. Take your vitamin C, work out a little bit, walk a little bit more than you need to, and again, keep your hand washed. And with that, I do thank you.